For the last 2 years, I have been really addicted to anything around manhwa or web novel or manga in general. And with that, there comes a lot of things that I absolutely dislike. Just absolute boo! And I just cannot get over, no matter how many times I watch them or read them or whatever it is. And that is the silly little bully tropes that they add in every single one. Now, I think at the beginning, these are perfectly fine, right? Maybe the MC is in a class of some sort and he's super weak, and people are like, dude, why are you here? Like, haha, you're weak. Why are you here? Maybe you can understand it a little bit. You're like, okay, that's kind of fair. Why is he there? But I'm talking about ones that make absolutely zero sense for somebody to be making fun of someone for. So, if you watch my previous video on how much I'm addicted to manhwa, you would know that I've been really addicted to the tamer ones in particular. The ones where they tame some sort of beast and it's kind of like a Pokemon type of situation almost. And I will watch or read almost every single one of these that releases, no matter how good or bad it is, depending on what is going on. And there's one recently that I picked up. I don't remember the name of it because yeah, that's how bad it was. I didn't want to remember the name of it. But basically, this guy gets betrayed by his girlfriend, essentially. It's in a Miram world, meaning it's in a martial arts spiritual world. So he gets betrayed by his girlfriend and he loses his spirit beast, which is basically his Pokemon, essentially, because his girlfriend doesn't like him anymore, apparently, from childhood. So she betrays him, destroys his spirit beast, and then basically ruins this guy's life by going around and basically telling people that he was trying to do nefarious things. But then he comes back 3 years later for his revenge, where he obtains a new spirit beast or Pokemon, and he exposes this girl. And basically, the entire time, like, there's no part, mind you, where she comes out and she's just like, oh, yeah, I was lying, or yeah, we made up a scenario. That never happens in this entire thing. All that happens is he does get his revenge at one point, but even as he's getting his revenge, she does not break, and neither does the guy that helped her do this either. And that is just like such poor writing. Like through this entire time, they are so dedicated to the story of like the made up falsehood that she made that she genuinely believes it. I'm convinced that the writer forgot what he was writing about in the first place. And this isn't the only one that does this either. Where the tropes are just so ridiculous, it makes you want to just stop reading it, stop watching it, whatever it is. For example, you'll go into other ones, right? Like a lot of the ones that are very similar to solo leveling or the apocalypse or whatever, a lot of those ones they'll have bullies in them as well. But what I like about the ones that are very similar to solo leveling is the bullies only are bullies in the beginning, right? In later on, and usually in the ones where they get some power and they go through dungeons, usually their enemies are actual bad people. They're people where you're like, okay, he's fighting these guys who want to be a criminal organization. But in the early game, they always have the same trope of some weird nerd who basically believes that anybody in the entire universe is weaker than him, and then the guy is like maybe a C rank. Like, where does the audacity come from in this? Like, I'm actually very curious to see if there's a big reason behind this writing trope. Like, if this is stuff that maybe kind of happens in real life, like not specifically with the superpowers, but with how the trope is written out because of how many times it happens in every single one. And like I said, the ones that are like solo leveling, they're a little bit better because usually it's the very beginning, and then after that they're like, oh, okay, he's powerful, we're done. But Miram is terrible. Anything where there is like a system like Miram, where there's a combination of martial arts and spiritual energy, where they are, gathering it and becoming like immortals essentially, every single one of those has the same trope of this guy's getting strong. X guy doesn't like that guy's getting strong. He tries to beat up the MC. MC wins against that guy. Instead of the guy just being like, you know what? Fair enough. You beat me up. You got me. You gave me the wedgie and you soiled my britches. And that's what happened. Instead of them just doing that, every single time guy loses, comes back for revenge, loses again, comes back for revenge, loses again. After he loses the third time, what does he do? He goes and he cries either to his dad, his master, or both. And then both him, his master, and his dad get absolutely mopped and cooked out the door. They get sent flying. And then what do? They come back with the grandpa. And then what does the grandpa do? He comes back with his master. And then what happens after that? Their entire family lineage gets annihilated from the universe. And you're questioning where in the story this makes sense. And it's gotten to the point where if I start reading this and this trope goes on for too long, I will just instantly stop reading whatever it is. No matter if it's something older or newer, just instantly hard stop to whatever it is because it's mad annoying. Like I said, I can understand it a little bit in the beginning because if I was someone who trained my entire life and have been called a child prodigy and I'm stronger than every single person I've ever fought, and then random Joe Schmo comes along who apparently has never trained a day in his life and he says he's gonna one tap me. Okay, I can understand you being a little area. You're like, yeah, good luck with that one, Buster. Sure, you're gonna one tap me out of the game. But if I just got one tapped by a guy who's never trained in his life, I'm sorry. I'm just never. I'm not touching you ever again. I'm probably kneeling down and apologizing and being like, "Sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game. Yeah, it's my bad. I wasn't familiar with what you were putting on me. You know." And I just think that those are the ones I like more. Yeah, I think more people who write manhwas and mangas and stuff like that should start going with that trope more. Where once they get mollywopped once by the MC, then they should do like a full switch. Like they should just be like, all right, yeah, I ain't messing with this guy. Like one that I like in particular was this guy. Basically, these people get teleported into a game like every day at like midnight or something like that, and very similar to the other tropes, the guy was like, "Oh, I'm from a big family. I have power. Blah 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 blah. I'm gonna beat you up." He gets beat up once, one time, and the rest of the manhwa, he is that guy's best friend. He is the MC's best friend from that point on. The MC doesn't let him be his best friend, but he literally, you know, he doesn't fight him. If he sees the MC pull up somewhere, he's not like, "Oh yeah, man, everybody, we're gonna fight him today." No, he's like, "Whoa, whoa, take what you want. I'm dipping. I'll come back another day." And like, I just don't understand why this is a trope in every single thing. Like, genuinely, it just makes me not want to read them, no matter how much I love the manhwa and the manga that I have been reading. Those simple tropes can easily ruin it if it's dragged out for just like way, way too long. Like you gotta add some interesting characters that people like. But that's really all I wanted to rant about today was how irritating manhwa tropes can be or manga tropes could be. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below about manhwa tropes. Besides that, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a wonderful night. Peace.